Hello, CIS30A. In this video, I'm going to go over lab for exercise 1. In this video, we're going to demo the lab for exercise 1 a little bit differently from my prior video. I want to simplify the process and explain it a little bit clearer compared to the prior video. So let's take a look at the exercise. In the document, it tells you to write a Python program that asks the user for their age. We are going to use try and accept to handle try, accept, and assert to handle assertion error. And so I want you to be able to practice handling the exception. And I will also demonstrate how we would be handling exception in general in the program itself. And the user input age, when it's outside of the range, which is 1 to 120, we want to be able to show that it is an assertion error. And below that, you are going to see the steps. We're first going to define the variable that's going to store the user input as integer for their age. The second step is we're going to use try, and we're going to assert the conditions for the age that is outside of range, which is less or equal to 1 and greater than or equal to 120. After that, we are going to handle the exception as assertion error, and we're going to test the program using age in the range and outside of the range. So let's take a look at our code. In this program, I start with a variable called age, and I want to parse this as an integer as the user input is going to be in text. So we want to convert that into numbers. So we want to parse that into whole number, integer. And so I would prompt them to enter their age. Then next, we're going to use the try statement. And in try, you want to have a colon after try. And within its body, you have to tap in or you have to indent. And we want to assert. And this is where we want to put in the condition that is not within the range, outside of that range. So here I want to assert age that is less than and equal to 1, or age that's greater than and equal to 120. We want to see if this condition is true. If it is true, it's going to print the next text here, age out of range, assert condition is true. Now, if this condition is false, it's going to go to the next section, which is where it's going to erase the assertion error, and it's going to print the next string, which is assert condition is false, age is in range 1 to 120, and the assertion error occur. So if this condition is not met, it's going to go, if it's false here, it's going to go to the accept, and it's going to handle the assertion error by printing this. It's going to print the age regardless, as I have it in the next section here. So when I run this program, we would first test it for the age that is inside the range of 1 to 120. So let's try 24. So here, since 24 makes this condition false because 24 is greater than 1 and it is less than 120, so it's false here. It's going to display assert condition is false. So it's going to go to the accept, and it's going to erase the assertion error. So it's going to print this line. And with that, we would have assertion error occur. Now, if we run the program again, and we want to try the age 125, since 125 meets this condition, we are going to we're going to have it print age out of range, assert condition is true. So the way we look at it is it's gonna try to check for this condition. If it's true, it's gonna print the next line, the next statement. If it's false, it's gonna go to the except. And kind of like your if else statement, but in the assert, it's gonna look for whether the condition is true or not here. Now I want to show you that I had also included the exception here. So if we comment out this part, which is the assertion error, and we want to use exception to see if it has the same response. So when I use exception, it basically just look for any kind of exception. Doesn't have to be assertion, because assertion error is really tied to the assert statement, where exception could be any kind of exception. And under that, for the body of the exception, we want to print out age in range, and assert condition is false, exception is handle. So very similar to what we had in the assertion error section, but we wanted to see if it's going to catch that error if this condition is false. So let me clear this and let's run the program. So let's say that if I put in my age as 30, and since 30 is within 1 to 120, it makes this condition false because the condition we state is out of range. It shows that the exception is handled. So it's going to go here to the except. Now, if we run the program again and we put in 123, it's going to, since 123 meets this condition, it's going to go and print the next statement here. So what you have is it's going to have a similar response to what we've seen with assertion error. However, exception is handling all type of exception versus assertion error only specifically aimed toward the input or the conditions that's used with assert, whether it's false or not. Okay, so in the case that it's false, it's going to handle the assertion error by going into this. So for the program itself, you only have to use the assertion error for number 1 exercise. But if you want to use exception, you can. Just know the difference. Now, in the case that if you are using both, you're going to see that it's going to stop here. So if we run this program and we use 130, right, it's going to say, it's going to go here. It's met the condition is true. If we run the program again and we use 20, right, it's going to actually hit the except, and it's only going to show the assertion error because the program actually stopped there. It does not get to the exception handling as the second part. So when you use both, it's going to end there. When you use only one, it's going to use that except if the condition is false. And so I hope that this video is clear, and I hope that I can illustrate this so that way when you run the program, you can test it with different value. Just pay attention to the condition that you put in here. Check to see if it's true or false. If it's true, it's gonna execute the body of the assert. If it's false, it's gonna kick it over to accept, and it's gonna execute the body of the accept, whether you're using the assertion error or the exception. Now, when you're using both, it's going to stop at the error that it handled first, and then it's going to go to the last line where it's going to print the age. It's not going to handle both exception together. It's only going to do one or the other. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, please let me know.